St. Louis County is ending its mask mandate.
County Executive Sam Page just announced the requirement is ending next week. 5 on your side's Casey Nolan is here with details. Casey?
County Executive Sam Page says this decision is data-driven and intended to give businesses and schools time to plan should they choose to drop their mask mandates. It was almost 2 years ago, March 7th, 2020, that St. Louis County reported its first known case of COVID-19. As recently as this past January, the county saw a record number of daily COVID cases as the Omicron variant spread. But now, County Executive Page says St. Louis County is in a much better place, from 2,700 cases a day in January to fewer than 130 COVID cases a day now on a 7-day average. And vaccination rates are up to more than 70% of eligible county residents with at least one shot. So, on the advice of health officials, Dr. Page says starting Monday, the county will drop its mask mandate and move to a mask recommendation based on circumstances and the health of certain individuals. Today, he was asked if he could see a scenario where a mask mandate could come back.
We would need to see an extraordinary rise in cases again. We would need to hear the pandemic task force, the CDC, and our public health department sounding the alarm. Right now, we don't see anything like that in the future, but we'll listen, we'll watch. I believe, and our health department believes, that we are past the worst of this.
So some pretty optimistic words there from the county executive. You may remember that the county and the city have mostly been in sync on their mask mandates, but right now the city still has a mandate in place that is not set to expire until March 6th. The mayor's office tells me they will follow the guidance of public health officials for next steps for the city after March 6th.
I think most folks would agree that this mandate has been very confusing since last summer, a lot of back and forth.
Dr. Page would argue people made political hay out of it instead of trying to focus on public health, and his critics would say the same about him.
And one of the confusing points is, what about schools? So how does this affect schools?
Great question, because he acknowledges schools may need to plan. I think that's the next thing we're going to see is mandates dropped by those county schools that still have them. We don't know that for sure. They still have every right. The county executive believes, school boards believe they have the right to impose those if they want. Of course, the AG of the state believes they do not. But I think that's probably the next update we'll see. I've heard that certain schools that still have them were set to go mask optional in April. This could speed that up.
All right. Thanks, Casey.